You know, I went to film school, and all you do is diss me that I don't watch as many films as you do, and it's starting to get to me a little bit, to be honest with you. I mean, we have very diverse tastes in film,
Diverse is
and
good.
we could go back to my documentary days and the helicopters. That's a story in and of itself. Remember the helicopters? But uh, before spell check,
My job as an editor has never been done.
never done. But just because I don't watch as many movies as you do, and
I
as
just
wide
think
as
you
others,
have a
doesn't mean I don't.
different relationship to movies than I do, and some of like the people that I associate with have like like movies that we watch when we're just like, oh, I just need to feel good about things, and there's a movie for that. That is why I have the video library that I have. I do have a large commitment to getting a lot of exposing myself to all those movies. Like I feel like sometimes I get into that, oh, I should watch that because it's been nominated for an Oscar, and I'm just like, why? Why did I? Because I'm not really the kind of. I mean, I do like some movies that have won Oscars for Best Picture, or whatever. But the last couple years, I like, oh, I'm gonna watch that, and I'm like, my God, could this be longer? And I don't think I'm gonna make it through this, and I'm gonna take a nap in the
Well,
middle.
yeah, but I mean, look. There are films that you absolutely love with Nicolas Cage that I
I do.
scratch my head going. That was not the high point of his career, and you love them.
No, but I enjoy it because it's fun. Because I can go, you know, if if I'm going to the movie theater and spending like $13 on something, or I don't even know what it costs to go. I only go to matinees because I'm cheap. Um, I do expect, if I'm going to go to, now that I don't get Netflix discs, life has changed. So then I could see everything for one fee a month. Now I have to depend on streaming services or eBay to fill my video library. Um,
How many chapters and titles are in your video library, physical video library, Kirsten?
oh God, I can't even put a number on it. I That's a lot. And I've just filled in some blanks recently. Because I got into a thing. So I am trying to move some stuff that I'm not gonna watch a lot into like a holding area, so it's not on the shelves and alphabetized.
A holding area. Like you have an ante room just for these secondary movies that don't
Well,
make
like
it to
I
the
have
main
like
room.
all the seasons of Walking Dead, so I've watched it, but I'm not going to rewatch it anytime soon. But I need to have it in the library. I also have all the seasons of The Office, best show rating up here.
There's a sequel
Um,
coming, by the way.
to The Office,
Yeah, yeah. They're working on a sequel, but that's
the
a whole other
U.S.
issue.
one.
The U.S. one, yes.
Okay, I've not heard anything about that. But so I again we have so like my niece is very much in the same camp as I am. Like there are movies she loves the Lord of the Rings trilogy. She will watch and rewatch and watch again. Like quote incessantly. And I've watched them twice now. I rewatched them recently because I felt like I had lost touch with them, and since Allison makes so many like references to it, I was like, I really feel like I should revisit this.
Lost touch with them. Like they're, hey, I'm gonna pick up the phone and call the Lord of the Rings.
Right. So, but yeah, but you just have a like you watch movies and then you move on. Like I don't feel like you have that same
Well,
attachment.
no, I mean there are movies that I will go back and watch. Look, I mean, I will.
Okay, are they Star Wars or Star Trek
Of course they are, but to me,
or
that's like
Marvel? Okay, anything
right.
outside of those three categories. I'm just asking because I feel like you are in a
Yeah, but
niche.
those are. I mean, you talk about something you watch makes you happy. You just kind of get away. It's escapism. Those are it. right? But then I'll watch other things, and you know, look, we grew up in a day and age where to watch a film, you actually would sometimes actually put a film onto a projector and watch it with other people, right? It wasn't all this just watching it at home, and things like you know, um, Citizen Kane on a big screen in black and white, or Casablanca in a theater, right? I mean, there are so many different movies out there. While I can certainly appreciate many of them, watching them over and over again, while their time being finite in life, there are other movies to be watched. So I'll watch other movies, and I don't. I used to watch a lot of movies and a lot of TV back in the day when I was in that business. And in the last, I don't know, 10 years, not being in that business and started to do more things outdoors and concert photography and all these other things that I'm doing, there's only so much time. So I don't watch the same volume, but I'm still very wary,
Nobody watches the volume of movies that I watch.
right.
Like,
No, you
I would
you are
challenge someone to beat me.
look, you're constantly a film festival, so you're a one woman film festival.
I
So,
am.
and I'll watch one every week or two. I'll go to a theater if it's worth, if it's screen worthy, because there's a lot of things being made these days that don't translate on the big screen, right?
There's some stuff I don't care to see on a big screen because I'm like, yeah, it's not going to be cinematic.
Right. No, a comedy, not so much, but a film like Dune, where they've got a great cinematographer and they're painting the screen and there's a lot of information here. Yeah, that I'll go see. If it's a comedy, if it's a romantic comedy, I watch it on TV because the jokes are gonna be exactly the same. You'll laugh at the same parts. Um, well, you would hope you would. But there's always new content, and there is such a glut of content these days. Some of it good, some of it absolutely horrible. I find it interesting, going back to Nick Cage and you
Pick on
know,
my boy.
oh no, I'm not going to pick on him. I mean, think about this. His career was dead for a number of years. He was making movies just to support the fact that he can't stop from buying garbage, literal garbage, right? So, he had to make money, and now he's coming out with films that are really good on a regular basis, and he's resurrected his career. You know, God bless him for that. That there are so many people who are actors who, after the height of their career, never come back to lead a film again. And he's been able to do that. And he does have some good films. And he broke out of being an action hero all those years ago. You know, but am I gonna go? Am I an aficionado of watching? The what is it? The Fast and the Furious? Nah, it's a car. They go fast. They do
I've
things
not
that.
watched those, but I feel like I should
You
like to
will.
sit
I'm
and
sure
watch
you
them
will.
all in order. I've watched the spin-offs of Hobbs and because it's Jason Statham. Um I can't even think of it.
I think you'd
I
watch
have
an entire movie of him sitting on the can. Quite frankly, if
what?
that's all he did the entire movie, you'd watch it.
What, Jason Statham? No, he's got to punch people.
Oh, okay.
He has to punch people. That's his job. Like Jason Statham is the only reason Jason Statham is in a movie is to kick someone else's ass, usually to kick the asses of about 50 guys minimum. He doesn't make Jason Statham doesn't make comedies really. I mean, he's there to
No, I think
kick
he
ass.
was. I think he might have been in one, but now he's got this beekeeper thing coming out. This beekeeper movie, I think. Am I going to see that in the theater? Nah, it's probably. I'll probably watch it when it comes out on home. And then that's too. I don't subscribe to a lot of streaming platforms because, quite frankly, some of them are like literally the bottom of the barrel of a content, and I'm like, do I want to devote my time to it? Right. I was watching a documentary just a couple weeks ago, but it really wasn't that impactful. I've totally forgotten about it and moved on. Um, when I find the time, I'll watch it, and I appreciate. I just don't go back to content multiple times because there's going to be something different I can watch. You have watched this. I mean, okay, here's a question for you. What movie is the most watched movie in the Streeter library of movies.
It's sad but true. Well, it's not sad. It's not sad because it is a great movie, and it's a girl movie. And Allison and I swear, Allison and I have sat down and watched it multiple times, just the two of us together, and she watches it regularly. Pride and Prejudice. The second one, the one with Keira Knightley, not the original Colin Firth, though I have watched that at least twice. It's longer. You have there's a bigger commitment. I love watching Pride and Prejudice. I am always happy that I've watched it. I've never think I've wasted that 2 hours and however many minutes it is. It is the feel good movie. It's very important to my life. If I did not have that movie, I'd be very sad.
It was you were going to say the new Taylor Swift concert movie. I was totally wrong.
I will never say that I have watched anything, even the first time, if it involved Taylor Swift.
Oh, well,
I did not go to see Cats because she was in it. I didn't. Did you not know about the movie Cats?
So the CG was so bad in the previews. I'm like, I'm not going to see this movie.
Well, to be clear, and everyone that knows me knows this, I hate the stage version of Cats. People carry on like it's the best thing that has ever been put on a stage. I went to see it once because I know some of the music, and I was like, okay, sure, because I had a subscription and it was one of the shows that they were gonna do.
Your local community theater?
No, it's a respectable off-Broadway type of thing that's in the Auburn, New York area called the Merry-Go-Round, now called the Rev. They did Cats, and it was a big deal. And I don't know if you remember this name from the 80s. Taylor Dane was in it. Yeah. So it was a big deal because they had a star, right? Big deal. I am, as a theater goer, I'm there for the day. I've got my ticket and I'm there for the whole show. One of the only times my friend and I said, should we leave at intermission? Because I was so, I to this day barely know what it's about, because it's nonsensical to me. And it's also one of these shows where the entire show is sung, which I, in general, do not care for. I prefer musicals that are where you have some action and then your cast breaks into song, and then we have some more action and then we break into song. When you sing the whole show, you've already lost me partially. I'm still in the process of trying to really be appreciative of Les Mis, because that one's tough because they sing the whole thing. I've seen that on stage and I've seen it, the film version. It's growing on me, but I'm not quite there yet because it's a period piece. It stands a better chance of being accepted in my brain.
As opposed to singing Cats. I saw Cats on Broadway when I was in high school. Yeah,
and
loved it.
And what?
It. Oh, loved it. Saw the original on Broadway.
No. Yep. It's bad. Well, the movie was.
Well, I mean, look, CGI people dressed.
It wasn't just the CGI that was the problem. I'm just going to put that out there.
Okay, well, maybe the acting too, but I saw
from what I know.
I couldn't do that. But look, I mean, and look at some of the, here's the problem. I mean, you don't have. Movie making is just so different these days. We went from big studios, big anchor films. Now people are, doing a lot of smaller independent films.
Oh, I love indies.
What did the studio do? The studio started buying up the independent film companies, and now we still can't get people back in theaters post-COVID, and the whole business is the whole business is suffering. And that's the weird thing too, is like sometimes I'll just be flipping a channel, or I'll look for something, or I'll see something online. I'll go find it. But you've got to have a really great movie to make it in a theater these days. You've got to have a really great movie to clear the box office. There's just
Well,
not
I mean,
enough of those.
you're coming back to what does it cost to make a movie in order to make money on it? I mean, if you're going to do, practical stunts versus CGI and all those things are different. Like, I literally will not watch something because I know that the primary stuff, everyone's doing it in front of a green screen and it's all CGI. I don't want to see that. I really don't even care what the content of the movie is. I'm not impressed if you just made everything up in the background.
Yeah,
If
but you're currently on a green screen, and it looks like you're in a lodge somewhere. I mean, people don't know.
Yeah, I don't have like 1,000 warriors behind me pretending to be fighting. I mean, like Indiana Jones, the big warehouse was not CGI. It was that
The painting.
painting behind,
Yeah.
like that kind of stuff. I appreciate when you've done, you know, and I mean, I am dedicated to my films. I am also dedicated to all of the behind the scenes and the extras on those DVDs that nobody else gets to see because you've not bothered to get the DVD. And you when you show people are doing things practically and not with CGI. I just watched Wonka, which you saw at the theater.
Took my
Um,
mother.
and I saw it at the theater as well because I felt that it needed to be watching on the large screen. And shockingly, I bought the Blu-ray. So I just rewatched it the other night
Done.
with the Blu-ray, and so much of that was practical. There was not a lot of CGI in that. It was all done. They built giant sets.
Candy
I mean,
sets.
they built
Sets out
they
of candy for people to eat.
no, like the when they're in the shop, that giant tree and all the stuff, that's all real. That's not CGI. That was all physically built. They didn't fill in things afterwards. And and I have a lot of respect for a filmmaker that's doing that because in a lot of ways the CGI is, it's not easier. It's easier from the practical standpoint because you're doing everything in post. And while, yes, that still takes a set of skills, that's not, I'm not a huge fan of sci-fi and fantasy because so much of it now, if you did a sci-fi movie 20 years ago and you were like throwing pie pans through the air, I'm all over that because you are out there trying to practically get the look you're looking for. Now, if you can just like polish the spaceship and just make it go in the background, like you you're doing it's a different art. It's a different,
What,
it's
what you're saying is you prefer your Godzilla in a suit, not a CG Godzilla. You would rather have someone walking around in a big Godzilla suit or King
clearly,
Kong suit.
yes. I mean, real, as to what kind of movie do I want to watch? Yes. I don't want to watch, you know, I want to know that there's a dude in the Gollum suit. I don't want Gollum to be green dots that the actors are talking to. I want them to be, I want there to be a person there for them to be interacting. I don't watch a lot of movies with dragons and stuff with it. And I'm going to have a conversation with the dragon. No, no.
Yeah, but
You
the
had
dragon was
a
Benedict
conversation with a
Cumberbatch.
tennis ball, and then they drew the dragon in later.
Yeah, but it was a conversation with Benedict Cumberbatch. He was the
But
dragon.
yeah, I mean, but like I said, I mean, there's just so many. I mean, I have movies that I've watched over and over, movies from my childhood that mean a ridiculous amount to me. That I just will fold back in. I like big musicals. Dog emergency.
That's Amazon delivering or eBay delivering
I
another
don't think
TV.
it is. I'm not sure what. I don't even know what they could. Hey, um,
Hit the button.
like music, guys. Oh, mamma mia. Movies that like big musical productions now across the universe. I loved Greatest Showman. I mean, I can't even say, just the writing behind everything, behind the songs, it's fantastic, and that's where you've got choreography, you've got music written specifically, not just a score, music, people are singing for, the actors are doing their thing. And again, people are having some action and then bursting into song, the best kind of musical there is. And that's fun. And that's, I'm not going to be wowed by, the army of, Napoleon's army of 2 million people behind him or whatever. I mean, it when I can tell it's fake, it's less visually interesting. And this is a controversial statement, I have never watched the Shrek films. And you know how much I love Mike Myers. I can't watch the animation. I don't like it. I don't like the way it looks. I've not watched really any DreamWorks because I don't like the way the animation looks, because I'm a classic animations person and I love old Disney drawn stuff. I love old Chuck Jones. I am on board with Pixar. Have loved them for many, many years. I think the look of it looks more like the old-fashioned cel-drawn animation in a lot of respects, but I've never watched Shrek. I just can't.
And there we have it, folks. A movie Kirsten hasn't seen. She's seen the rest of them. Like, sometimes you talk about, am I ever going to get to the end of the internet? Kirsten's like, I'm going to get to the end of the movies, but it will be without Shrek.
It's hard now because not everything's been released on DVD, so some stuff is just lost. I mean, there's stuff that's out there that could have been great, and people didn't get to see it.
Why do I have a feeling that at some point you'll be calling me, telling me, I bought a 16 millimeter projector and a screen, and I found these classic movies because I couldn't live without them?
No, well, I mean, cellulose doesn't have a long shelf life if it's not kept in the right conditions, so that may
You can
not.
put it in the bunker down below.
Ooh, it's a little damp in my basement. Probably not good for cellulose.
All right. Well, hey, so see, we're not that far off. We just have different ways of consuming our films and different passions for them. How's that?
Yes.
Can we agree on that one before we wrap this up? Can we agree that we just have different passions for them?
Yes, we consume in different ways, and we have different ways of showing our love to said movies. Yeah. Mine don't need to win an Oscar for me to be like, that was the best movie ever. Generally, the stuff I've enjoyed has not won an Oscar, though I do like some things that have won Oscars. One of them has Nicolas Cage in it.
Moonlighting.
Moonlight.
Right. Oh, Moonlight. Okay, there you go. Moonlight. Yes. Well,
another feel-good movie that I've watched multiple times and can quote from. Olivia Dukakis has all the good lines in that film. Your life's going down the toilet.
Maybe one day we'll just pick a few films like we did with picking books off of our shelves, and we'll do a whole thing with just everything will be a line from the movies. We can plan something like that. But in the meantime,
one-liners, and I can show the DVD cover for everything because I have them.
I'm sure I could probably go say, hey, look, about this movie, and you could go, oh, let me get it. It's in the collection. So we'll do one of those.
There's a whole system.
Not tonight. We'll do one of those. Please, if you have any favorite movies, anyone watching has gotten this far that you want Kirsten to talk about, I'm sure she can probably go on for a while about it.
I've got the DVD or the Blu-ray.
And if you've not seen the behind-the-scenes stuff, she could probably quote it verbatim for you. Please subscribe, come back, and we will do this again very soon.
And again and again and again.
These are great conversations, so we'll do it again soon. But bye for now.
Goodbye.